everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner and my squeaky chair. I don't know if you can hear that, but it will be squeaky probably this whole time. I want to thank you for joining me for Flosstube 111. 111. I actually did look it up this time, which I don't usually do. So yeah, it's been about a month since I've had a Flosstube, although I did post my tiny sewing machine video 2 weeks ago. So thank you for all your comments on that. I appreciate it. And I have a lot of stuff happening. It is Monday morning. I'm going to go to work in a little bit. I have my coffee. I'm letting it cool, but I have my coffee. It's good. Ooh, a little too much sugar. Anyway, but I have a lot to show you today. I'm so excited. So I have some fully finished objects, which is what I was working on this weekend for my sister's wedding. I have 2 new starts, which I'm excited about. I have some secret stitching, which I can't show you. I have a call to action. I am helping my local arts council with a public art project, and I think you all would be perfect to participate. So I'll talk about that later on too. I have a couple purchases, and I think that's it. But before we get to any of that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures, and welcome back to everyone who's been hanging out with me for however long you've been with me. It has been great to get to know you in the comments here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me in 2 places, Dr_Christy. I'll put them, oh no, I won't put them here. They're down below. Dr_Christy is sort of my main account that I post fairly regularly as I post on any social media. And then I also have the Spoolery, which is also down below, I think. And, excuse me, that is where I post about vintage wooden spools and the things I'm making out of vintage wooden spools, which will be ramping up for the Christmas holidays. In fact, I just had my first show of the year, which was, it was okay. I'll talk about that too, maybe, if I remember. Yeah, what else is happening? Oh, this is a channel about embroidery and cross stitch, other textile crafts, and history and the history of all those things, including I really love vintage sewing paraphernalia, so I talk about that a lot too. And yeah, if you're not following me, I'd love to have you stick around and you know, hang out. Hit that follow button. Awkward, sorry, very awkward. I don't usually say that, and so it just sort of came out weird. Anyway, so I dyed my hair, so I'm very orange right now, but I want to get straight into my finished objects. My sister is getting married on, well, next Sunday, this coming Sunday, like 6 days. And I'm officiating the wedding. And I made a couple things for the wedding. So I made a cover for the what's it called? Ceremony, like words. So I made this for me to like hold to read. And this white fabric and this, it's hard to see, and this cream, that's a little bit better. This cream lace are from my stepmother's wedding dress. My stepmother is the mother of the bride. And then I have the ties from her wedding dress as well. And then the inside of it is, and sort of what holds it all together, is just a white pleather that I got a remnant of that I thought would be good for something like this. And so that I have the book block over there, and so I will affix this to that. I think I'm going to sew it in, and then I can cut it out and reuse this if I decide to do this as like a side hustle, which you never know. So I have that made. I made that this weekend. And then they're also doing a really cute love letter ceremony where they put love letters in a box and open them up on their first anniversary and read them, you know, whatever. So I made the box. Again, this is the lace from my stepmother's dress, and this is the fabric from my stepmother's dress. And I switched out the hardware, and then on the bottom is the key, and I will tie that in. But it just, right now, it just sort of sticks in there. And she does not watch my Flosstube, so I put a little surprise in here. So if she is watching, stop watching, Diana. And Janice, if you're with Diana and watching this, stop watching. But I put a little, so I finished, so it opens up like that. And then I put a little that on the inside. Isn't that cute? So they'll put I'm going to collect their letters while everyone's getting ready and have them already in here and locked up before the ceremony. So that way there's no, the ceremony's outside, and that way there's no worry about it, like, I don't know, getting lost or anything. And then the key just sits at the bottom. And like I said, I'm going to just get a little floss and tie that to that loop just so that it doesn't get lost. But I wanted it to have a place that was easy to get to, but yeah. So that sits on, I put little glass pearls just to make it look nice. So those are my 2 finished objects. That one is embroidery because I did it in, here, I'll show you again, my embroidery. Oh yeah, no editing again. I'm really liking the no editing. It allows me to actually like do these as opposed to not doing them. So that's how it's going to be going from now on until I have more time. Yeah. Oh, and this fabric is also for my stepmother's wedding gown, but I did stem stitch for the letters and satin stitch for the heart. And I used, this actually isn't black. It is a very dark green color and cotton named after a tree. I don't remember what color it is. It's named after a tree, color and cotton, very dark green. And then the red, I think, is also color and cotton. I belonged to a color and cotton like monthly club for a while. So a lot of my fancy flosses are color and cotton. But let's put this back together. And let's talk about my works in progress. So I have 2 new starts, which I will show you. The first one is for Heather Link is my homeboy, runs a bunch of Stitchy Swaps. So I'm participating in the book Stitchy Swap. And I'm doing Lindy Stitches. Jane Austen is my homegirl. So this is where I am. I'm at 7 minutes and 23 seconds. So if I can find a picture, I'll put it here because I don't print it out. I use it on Pattern Keeper, and Pattern Keeper is on the phone that I'm currently filming on. So that's how far I've gotten. Now the pattern isn't Pattern Keeper compatible. So I don't know how far along I am because Pattern Keeper, I just have like the grid. But I did change out all the colors because the colors in the original were very, I don't know, 1990s mint and pink. Like it was like my parents' living room. So I switched it. I switched it out, and it was a lot of colors. So I switched it out for some variegated colors. So we have Anne's Constancy. This is from the Black Needle Society Jane Austen box. I got these afterwards. Anne's Constancy is Anne from Persuasion by Jane Austen. Is the dark blue. And then Dusty Blue, Color and Cotton. Oh, and that's Forbidden Fiber. The Anne's one is Forbidden Fiber. I'm going to be using Tusk, Color and Cotton, When White is Called For, Color and Cotton Dusty Rose for a light pink. No, for the darker pink. And DeVere Yarns Sugar Pink for the light colors. And then there's a lot of black, and I have a cone of 310. So I'm just going to draw from that for the Jane Austen silhouette. So that is my new start. I need to check to see when all the due dates are because she runs a tight ship and I don't want to fall behind. But I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I am getting rid of, I'm not sort of stitching all of that background. There's a whole lot of gray background maybe. I'm not stitching that. I'm going to do the ecru lines, the tusk lines up the middle, like up through it. But I'm not stitching that whole background. That does not spark joy. My other new start is a spooky start. And I am going to be kicked out of the Stitcher hood. But, oh, and I'll have to show you a picture of this too, because it is also on my phone on Pattern Keeper. I don't have a printout, but this is my Patreon July my Patreon July pattern, which was this spooky witch, and I am doing it on a 16 count Zweigart Aida that was dyed by Esther the Danish Stitcher. So this is what I have. I just have kind of the little houses below. And I won this in Stitch Ilanka's 1,000 subscribers giveaway. But I thought that this would be great for a monochrome spooky witch. Oh, hell yeah. And I think I'm not going to stitch all like the the background lines, because I feel like this has enough stuff that I don't need the background lines. I am going to stitch the cloud, that big sort of cloud that comes out of here. I am going to stitch that. And I am stitching it all in Salem because it's a witch. And I wanted to do her in silk. And this is sort of a navy-ish, gray, blue, purple situation. It's really interesting. And I wanted to do it in navy because these are navy splotches on this, and I really like it. It's coming up a bit yellower on the screen. It's actually a peachy color. It's sort of peachy, beigey, bluey, splotchy. I mean, it's like perfect for this stitch, for real. So good job, Esther. I don't know if she has any more, but it's great. It does not have a name on it, so I apologize. But anyway, yeah, so I was going to do it in a silk, and I found this really cool navy silk that I thought would be great. And then I'm like, well, let's just see what cottons I have. And then I saw I had Salem, and I mean, how do you not do that? You have to. You don't have a choice. So that's my second start, and I'm really excited. And it's on Aida, which means I don't need my magnifier. And the 16 count Aida, I don't need my magnifier. I just need good light. So I can take this with me to travel to my sister's wedding. In fact, I have a bunch of stitching I need to take with me. My third whip that I can't show you is I'm making progress on my model stitch for the Just Cross Stitch magazine spring edition, which is coming out, I think, in April. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I'm excited about that. It's coming along fine. That is on 14 count, which means that I can get that. I can do that on, yeah, I can do that on my trip as well, because 14 count Aida is easy to stitch on if I have good light. My eyes are really bad, and I think I'm 99.999% sure that when I go to my eye doctor this next time, which I think will be in December, that I'll get bifocals, because I'm struggling with the close stuff, and I've always struggled with the far stuff. So that's the plan. I'm going to get some bifocals, and I might get some other kind of funky glasses. I have a friend who has these great glasses, and she told me where she gets them from online. I've never bought glasses online before because my eyes are so bad that I'm always afraid that it won't work out well. So we'll see. All right, that is, oh, and then I also have, where is it? Sorry about the crinkles. I have a bag of bags and boxes and stuff. I have my crochet whip. It's going to look exactly the same as last time because it doesn't really change much. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. I have a crochet emergency. Crochet emergency. I really need to get some. Actually, I'm going to leave this out. Before I leave, I'm going to get some stitch markers that I can just clip in. This is where I am. It's growing. It's growing. I am kind of wishing, though, that I had done like classic granny square where I'm almost thinking about restarting this. Is that crazy? I'm thinking about restarting this and doing 2 or 3 rows of each color before switching. And then I won't have as many ends to weave in. I'm seriously thinking about it. What do you think? Give me your opinion. I think I would love it more if it were more like Granny Square-esque. I think I would love it more if it were less sort of spotty, less spotty and more Granny Square. So I need to think about that, because then I can add in the mustard right away. I can sort of do like every once in a while have like a little mustard happening. I think I might. All right. Well, then I'm going to pull this out. So I don't need, well, I still need a thing, but I'm going to pull out what I'm working on. And, oh, I didn't get very far, did I? No, I didn't. What is happening here? There we go. Yeah. All right, pulling this out. I'm not going to pull out the rest of it. I can use this for, I don't know what I can use it for. I can use it for something, maybe. It's amazing how quickly it unravels and how slowly it is built. All right, now I want to talk to you about, oh, well, let's just, I don't know, life update in the middle while I'm unraveling this. Oh, I'm almost done anyway. Life update. Since I last saw you, I traveled to Pennsylvania for my cousin's wedding, and that's when got it. That is when the video was posted, the what's it called video? The tiny sewing machine video was posted. So that was fun. It was a fun wedding. We had a good time. And then Wednesday, today's Monday, like I said, Wednesday, I'm leaving for my sister's wedding. I'm going to be gone for about a week. I mean, I'm going to be working the whole time. I have a department meeting on Friday. So, you know, I'm doing what I got to do. But that'll be fun too. And I have my sermon. I have to alter my dress, because my dress has a little bit too much room under the arms, which always happens in plus size clothes. They really think we have ginormous arms. And I need to shorten it by, I would say, about 3 inches. I want it to still be long, but I don't want to step on it or worry about tripping over it. Those are those plans. And then my stitching plans are, I have to finish the model stitch for Just Cross Stitch Magazine. And that, I think, has to go out while I'm gone. So I'm going to have to take that with me and stitch it. I didn't realize how close I was cutting it. I want to continue working on my spooky stitch. My spooky witch, stitch witch. And I got to keep working on the 3 whips I have right now, because those all have deadlines. I also have another plan. I don't know if you remember, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago, I found out that a friend of mine that I did not keep, a friend of mine from college, so I didn't keep in touch with at all, but she posted on Instagram that she had ovarian cancer, and she did a fundraiser. I donated money to help with expenses. Excuse me. And she loves mermaids. And I was going to stitch her a fat mermaid pin. I don't know if you remember those fat mermaid brooches. I wish I had remembered to bring it out, because I love them. Well, she passed. I found out that she died actually back in February, but they only posted it on Facebook, and I missed that post. And so I was just kind of wondering how she was doing, because I hadn't seen any updates on Instagram. Time passes in ways I don't even understand. I looked I had been keeping up with the GoFundMe, but there had been no updates on that. So she's my age. I'm mid-40s. I'm 43. She was probably 45. And I found out she died in February. So her birthday is November 24th. And I'm getting a little verklempt, because she was a very good friend in college. We drifted apart. You know, I moved away. She moved away. Nothing bad happened. We had seen each other, you know, had kept a little bit in touch. But because I'm not on Facebook, I miss a lot of things. So I want to stitch it's a 1/1, which is why I've been avoiding it. Fat mermaid brooch. And I was doing this fat mermaid Sal with Nadine Nad's X Stitch. And I haven't seen one of her videos in a while, but I have not been watching Flosstube. So I I don't know. I don't know. Well, I'm still working on it. So anyway, so my goal is to finish that by November 24th and have that brooch and wear that brooch and think of my friend from college. Yeah. Cancer sucks, dude. Cancer sucks. Sorry, awkward and downer in the middle of my thing. Okay, so let's look at, I have a couple purchases that I want to show you. The first one I'm pretty excited about is another tiny sewing machine. So this is a beige tiny sewing machine. Sorry, that was loud. I might edit that out, 21-ish minutes. That was really loud. But I have a tiny beige Singer sewing machine, and this is the same hand crank. It does not have the hand crank part is missing, but I might put a spool on that. Find a little spool, put that on that, and then I have a little cranker. This is very stiff, but it has those, everything else looks fine. It has those tension. I got a whiff of something. No, I guess it's okay. It has those tension, discs. So I think it just needs to be like cleaned and oiled. It's in really good shape. So I think this may be the second of my refurbishes. The first one will be my really old one that I'll refurbish, and then I'll refurbish this one second. Or maybe I'll refurbish this one first, since I think this one will just need to be cleaned and oiled. Anyway, that's one of my purchases, which is exciting. This is what happens when you make a video about tiny sewing machines and you're like, I wonder if there are any tiny sewing machines for sale. And then we have it's called an art walk, and it's a place basically artists set up outside or inside the shops downtown, and one of our students does ceramics, and so I bought some necklaces. So I got that necklace and that necklace and that necklace. Aren't they great? So I got those. So that's art. I got art. And I think last but not least is my call to action. My call to action, my local arts council, I'm a member of the board of my local arts council, and we are doing a public art project, an ongoing public art project. So the director, who is a friend of mine, has a tiny truck. And this is what the tiny truck looks like. It's adorable. And it sits outside the Arts Council or other venue, wherever we're doing it. And it just hangs out there just being cute and colorful. Well, the director, whose name is Salem, it's allergy season here in the South, got tiny frames, like 700 tiny frames. And he wants to do a mobile tiny art gallery in the tiny truck. So he's going to kit out the back of the truck. He's going to put magnets on these and stick them up and have a public art gallery. So whenever it's at an event, he'll open up the back and people can go in and look at the tiny art. So my call to action is, we need more tiny art that is made of fiber, because fiber arts are such an undervalued art source or art form. It's women's work, and so it's not real art, right? But we know that it is real art. So, sorry. So, send me tiny fiber art. Now, if you do other kinds of art as well, that's great. So I know some of you do collage, some of you do paperwork, some of you do painting, some of you do other things. Send that also. I will put the address for the Columbus Arts Council in the description box down below, and it'll be there all the time. Nati from Stitch Nati has asked when the deadline is. There is no deadline. This is an ongoing art project. If you have something that's small in the next couple months, send it on. I'm assuming he'll just be collecting it forever. We have a lot of these. So the opening is 2.5 by 2.5 inches. I don't know what that is centimeters. You'll have to look it up. I'm sorry. 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And what I plan on doing is taking whatever art you send me and wrapping it around a board and affixing it to the back of this. That's how it's going to work. Now, anything that fits in this will work. So if it's 3D, that also works as long as it's not going above. It can come out, but not like around, because I think they're going to be like tessellated together. The other thing is I would love to have a little border to, you know, like wrap around the board. But if you just have something that's tiny, or something that doesn't have any border, send it anyway, because I can wrap a board in another fabric and affix it to that fabric and it'll be fine. It'll be mounted. So if you're interested in participating in this and you have tiny stitching that you don't know what to do with, that's 2.5 by 2.5. If you have a sampler motif that you really love, stitch it up again for me and we'll make art for the community. It would be really awesome if you participated in that. And like I said, some of you do collage, some of you do paperwork, like paper piecing, not paper piecing, like make cards or that kind of thing. I would love to display your art in the tiny truck, in a tiny little frame. All right. I think that's all of my stuff to show you today. I did a little bit more work on my sleeve, my dress sleeve, but it's still not done. I'm going to have to move it all to get to my sewing machine anyway, so that's not going to work. But other than that, I have cleaned up a little bit in here. I don't know. I just kind of feel like talking apparently. So I'm going to get going. I got to get to work. This will be minimally edited just because I got to get to work. And I look forward to seeing you in probably 2 weeks, because I'll be back in 2 weeks. And that will be, I'll be able to rest again. I've been traveling so much this semester and it's been difficult. So I will see you in 2 weeks. I may, if I have time to edit the unboxing video of my grandmother's sewing stuff, I may post that next week. And I'll talk to you soon. So thanks for watching. Please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.